And so she ingested tapeworm eggs before GTA 6. And so if you're stupid enough to ingest a tapeworm egg in the hopes to lose weight, and that tapeworm egg ends up in your brain, it's just going to die off. I mean, think of it. They're going to starve themselves. There was nothing in their head for the tapeworms to ingest. Food for thought. Coach Greg, and I thought I'd seen it all. Until today. A woman bought on the dark web tapeworm eggs to lose weight. Now I get it. Everyone feels pressure to lose weight. And people are willing to do almost anything to lose it. They use dangerous drugs such as DNP and others, but this has to be a new low. And so I'm going over a video by Chubbai Wu. Actually, I think it's pronounced Chubbai Wu. And one last try, Chubbai Mu. And so Chubbai Wu, he's gone through his own tough times and has recently lost weight. Now I've already watched the video and I already know the crazy things are gonna happen. And so, are you ready?
A woman ate dark web bought tapeworm eggs to lose weight. This is what happened to her brain. T.E. is a 21-year-old woman.
And so her name is T.E. I'm going to pronounce it T. And she bought these tapeworm eggs using coins. Probably used Bitcoin.
She tried dieting, but every time she did it, she'd immediately start on an ultra-intense regimen and she couldn't stick with it.
Says she tried everything. Clearly, she hasn't been watching Coach Greg.
Symbiosis is imperative to survival. This is kind of like tapeworms and humans. The worms take shelter in our stomach. Rather than bring us food, they eat our extras, helping us lose weight.
The happy face on the tapeworms gets me every time. I mean, when you see the tapeworm with the happy face, don't you want to swallow it? Wouldn't you want to have a happy face in your tummy?
And they're just a worm. They can't do anything bad. Clearly, this win-win situation was beneficial with absolutely no risks at all for all parties involved.
Clearly, it's a symbiotic relationship. No harm could ever come from swallowing tapeworms. I'm joking. Harm will almost always be present.
She started chatting with some people on a server and they instructed her how to obtain and use special coins to purchase these eggs.
And I freeze from Bitcoin. And so yes, it is in fact Bitcoin.
With the help of some new, soon-to-be hatched friends, who she'll also be benefiting because they'll be living rent-free with all meals paid for.
And so y'all thought it was a joke. Everyone's living rent-free in people's minds. Well, in this case, Bree's tapeworms were living rent-free in her mind. But you know what it should have been living rent-free inside of her? GO2 max. Just think of it. If you improve your cardio and you have more energy, you're going to burn off more calories. And so before you spend all your Bitcoin on tapeworms, perhaps consider GO2 max. Code Greg, 15% off. Promise you, no tapeworms used in this formula.
When she stepped on the scale, she started noticing that number was going down, something she never saw before. She even tried to go all out to eat more than she normally would, and number would still go down.
This reminds me of the movie Thinner. You remember that movie from around 1996, way back in the day? There was a guy, a lawyer, he made some deal with a gypsy or something. Basically, his goal was to lose weight, and he did not care at what cost. Problem is, you need to be careful what you wish for. And so at first, losing 2 pounds perhaps every single day, guy was ecstatic. But eventually, the weight wouldn't stop no matter how much he ate. 10,000 calories a day did nothing. Continued to lose weight until eventually he died. And so moral of the story, don't make deals with gypsies and or Lucifer.
One evening, T.E. went to the bathroom. This time was kind of weird because she thought she could feel something flapping and slapping around her cheeks while she was sitting down.
Flapping her on the cheeks. Okay.
She looked back and saw some tan, rectangular pieces floating around in the bowl, creeping out of the bulk mass. She was able to convince herself that all of this was just weight leaving her body.
Yeah, nothing to do with those tapeworm eggs that I swallowed. It's just weight exiting the body. Release the demons, so to speak.
Eventually, T.E. noticed that her weight loss had stalled out. Concerned that she had plateaued, she looked back to the capsules that she still had left, and she committed herself. It was time to add more rent-free tenants.
And so she thought to herself, I'll just take another capsule. Let me cook. And so I'll do anything to lose weight, but I'm not doing cardio. I won't put the fork down. I certainly am not going to get Coach Greg's cookbook.
Throughout the day, the hurt would pulsate, each time more intense than the last. But finally, the pain was too much as she's brought to the emergency room, where we are now.
And so with greater headaches than last time, she finally decides to go to the hospital. And she going to tell the doctor what she's been swallowing? No, I'll just keep that to myself.
The doctors never asked her about any suspicious things she may have taken in the past, and she wasn't going to tell them anyways because, like the Onion website said, worms would only take shelter in her gut.
I mean, what can the doctor do? They can't read minds. They don't know what she's ingested. And so they cure the problem with the headache and say, hey, go home, you're fine. And so she's thinking, headache's gone, let's now again lose some weight.
There's no shortcut to meaningfully lose weight and be healthy. You still need to dial in your diet and exercise.
Well, I would argue that the cookbook is a shortcut, but I get it. You need to be in a calorie deficit, and that can come from either burning off more calories or eating fewer of them. But hey, I'd rather just swallow anything that might help me lose weight because I'm just too freaking lazy. I mean, why would I want to work out? Why would I have to put in an ounce of effort to reach my goals when I can just swallow these pills? And so you can get a personal trainer just like he suggests, or you could get my cookbook, you can get GO2 Max, or you can watch my videos. But what you ultimately need to do is to move more and or eat less.
At examination this time, doctors felt the bumps on her body, and her headaches from a few months ago never really went away. All of these prompted them to take a closer look at her brain.
And so the second time in the hospital, she's explaining that she passes out, doesn't know what's happened, and so obviously she's having a seizure. The headaches have continued, and so they need to dig a little deeper.
Doctors asked T.E. what she had been eating. She told them potato chips.
And so think of it, they're asking her, hey, do you know what might have caused this? Any weird things you're eating? Yeah, I eat a lot of potato chips. Doesn't want to tell them she's embarrassed. I swallowed tapeworm eggs, and so yeah, I'd rather just die. Guys, you need to say what's going on. It's like when people go to the doctor and they're on steroids and they just don't dare tell anybody anything. People are so secretive, they don't give a shit about anything.
She felt embarrassed about it, but after all of the persistent questioning, she finally showed the doctors the capsules that she had taken. When the doctor looked at the bottle, it was labeled Saginata.
And so finally, hey doc, come to think of it, I forgot to mention these. And so I've been taking Saginata, not Vaginata, Saginata. Are you as dyslexic as I am and you're thinking as soon as you saw that word, you thought of vagina? Or is it just me?
Saginata refers to Taenia saginata, also known as beef tapeworm.
I want you to know that I was eating French toast for breakfast while I watched this video, and I barely could finish it. I still don't feel good. If you're trying to lose weight, try watching this video whenever you go to eat and tell me if you can eat as many calories as last time. Just re-watching this video, I'm still getting an upset stomach. And so long story short, she got two different types of tapeworms, one being from beef and one from a pig. And the pig one, apparently, it's way worse. It can go into your brain.
Do you remember that T.E. would randomly regain consciousness during the day? Well, those were seizures. This brings us to the idea of weighing risk to benefit.
It's the risk to benefit that gets me. She could have gone for walks or ate less food, bought my cookbook and so on. But no, instead of that, I'm going to use Bitcoin and buy some magic pills from the internet. And no, I'm not talking about Jack buying magic beans and climbing up the beanstalk, but magic pills that are going to help you with weight loss. I mean, really, do we need to lose weight that bad? And so Chubbai Moo, he wrote a comment. I have lost 68 pounds. At first, a lot of it was water weight, but now I'm actually losing fat and putting on muscle. Now, in the before and after photo, it's very hard for me to see a guy that lost 68 pounds. I see a guy that went like this, and then went like this. I mean, is he mewing harder than last time? Is he pulling off a Drake? What exactly is going on right here? And so perhaps he lost 68 pounds. Okay, we get it. But how exactly did he lose weight? Well, let's see. Yesterday's eats. Chicken, rice, and 6 eggs, and no dinner. I mean, I was expecting him to say chicken, broccoli, and rice, but I guess the answer is chicken, 6 eggs, and rice, and skip dinner. And so my personal suggestion, and remember, it's not for everyone. I believe 95% would benefit from this. Why don't we add in some vegetables? Perhaps some fruit? Fruit and vegetables, they contain fiber. It's going to help you to be more full. And why are we skipping meals? Do we really only need to eat 1, perhaps 2 meals a day? Whatever happened to breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Add in some snacks and you now have an excellent diet. It's all about food choices. But in the end, it's calories in, calories out. If you consume too many calories, you're going to gain weight. If you don't eat enough, you're going to lose weight. But I might add the secret to weight loss, it is in fact cardio. And so one man in the comments section, I really like this message. I want to read it to you. I have lost 54 pounds in 7.5 weeks. I was taking ephedrine. I stopped all soda and most sugar unless it was fruit. I worked out 6 days a week, 2 hours per day. I played basketball 5 days a week, 6 p.m. till 10, from July 7 until September 2 of 2002 in Las Vegas. And so notice how that person lost all that weight that quickly, 54 pounds in what was less than 2 months. Notice the basketball from 6 p.m. till 10, 4 hours a day. Now, people made videos making fun of me, suggesting that for a couple of weeks, if you did 3 hours of low intensity cardio, you could lose a lot of weight. Now, I'm not suggesting that everyone goes out and does 3 hours of cardio a day, but the more you move, the easier it's going to be for you to lose weight. Exercise also increases your ability to understand when you're hungry. Your hunger cues can become more in line with what you actually need. Many people, they just eat. They don't know if they're eating because they're hungry or because they're perhaps going through hard times. They're emotional eaters. But if you do cardio, you're going to burn off more calories and be better able to eat when you do need to eat. Does that make sense? Now, the part where they said I was taking ephedrine. Ephedrine is a stimulant. It was one of the main ingredients in all fat burners that we used to take back in the day. There were, of course, as with everything, people who were abusing it. And so what the FDA did is they banned it from being combined with other fat burning ingredients. And so it became sold separately. And to this day, you can only get it in 8 milligram tablets. And I do believe since this time, it's actually been banned. And so they will not be selling ephedrine no more. But what I want you to know is that stimulants, for example, caffeine, which is kind of similar to ephedrine, it certainly increases your heart rate, gives you more energy, decreases your appetite. These things can in fact be leveraged to help you lose weight. Now, I get a lot of flack because I sell a fat burner, G-Shred. Many people suggest that I was against fat burners until I got popular, that somehow I have changed, when the facts are I used fat burners throughout my entire life. I spoke of these. I made videos on the past of top fat burners you can use to lose weight. Now, I'm not saying you need to buy these to lose weight. I'm just saying it's something that's available. There is not a big difference between a fat burner and a pre-workout. Both give you energy. When you have more energy, you can push harder. Perhaps you're tired. You never slept enough. You just got off work. You have no motivation to go to the gym. If you took a fat burner or a pre-workout, you would probably have more energy and you'd be more motivated to go to the gym. Also, caffeine, for example, releases dopamine. And so what you're doing following the consumption of caffeine, it's going to feel a lot better. So whether you're going to the gym, lifting weights, doing cardio, or going out on a date, the conversations are going to feel better, the cardio is going to feel better, and you're going to enjoy the feeling you get while lifting the weights. And so my opinion is save the caffeine, the fat burners, pre-workouts, and so on for when you're about to do something good. For example, exercise or working out, because you're going to be even more motivated to go and do that workout. Interested in these and of course GO2 Max? Click the link in the description, code Greg, 15% off.
None of this would have happened had the Taenia solium never gotten into their body in the first place, but these cases were accidental infections. TEs was deliberate.
And so I think that goes without saying. Some people are going to accidentally consume or ingest these tapeworms and tapeworm eggs and so on, but it's not your fault. But to purposely buy a pill on the dark web that you don't know what's inside of it, and to swallow it in the hopes of losing weight when there are so many better alternatives, it simply makes no sense. I mean, heavens forbid, could you have used Ozempic even? A semi-glutide perhaps? Have you tried Coach Greg's cookbook, the GO2 Max, fat burners, and so on? Have you tried going for a walk? Have you ever practiced even a single time putting the fork down? Put the fork down and walk. Move away from the table. Don't sit in the kitchen and don't have food directly in front of you. The temptation to eat, if the bag of chips is right there, is going to be tremendous. And so they then gave her a couple of different pills, medications, the things that science has developed over the years. It's astronomical. I can't believe what they've developed. And so people may, in fact, make fun of science this and science that. Science-based lifting is stupid. But look at the medical advances that we're seeing right here. And so without science, this girl, she's gonna die. But because of the breakthroughs in medical science, she actually gets better.
This is way more risk than benefit, especially given that it's not imperative that you must take something to lose weight. In an able-bodied human, weight loss with diet and exercise is physically doable.
It's more than just physically doable, making it look like, it's a 1% chance that you could do it. It's physically possible. There is a chance, a fighting chance. It's actually easy. It's so much easier than you think. The reason you can't do it is because you just don't know better. You don't know, for example, that there are delicious meals that you can eat that'll keep you satiated. You're thinking, I don't want to go on a diet. I like my burgers, pizza, and ice cream, and so on. It's in the book. Half the calories, more protein, more fiber. It's actually easy. And I don't like cardio. Well, it's not my fault that I wasn't your physical education instructor when you were going to school. If you would have had Coach Greg as your teacher, you would like being physical. But I get it. Your gym teachers, they did you wrong. But just because you didn't like gym class back in the day doesn't mean you can't find some form of physical activity that you'll enjoy doing. Felt something flapping and slapping around her cheeks while she was sitting around. Not a sentence I thought I'd hear today. 4,800 comments, and so I'm not the only one that thinks these things. Imagine how pissed you'd be if you were the doctor conducting all these different tests only for the patient to say, oh yeah, and also I've been ingesting parasites on purpose. As someone who once had an ED, I always wanted to get a tapeworm to lose weight. Only now that I am recovered, I fully realize how fucked up that is. Crazy that people actually go to these extreme measures. Yes, trust me, 20 minutes ago was crazy. And so she ingested tapeworm eggs before GTA 6. And so if you're stupid enough to ingest a tapeworm egg in the hopes to lose weight, and that tapeworm egg ends up in your brain, it's just going to die off. I mean, think of it. They're going to starve themselves. There was nothing in their head for the tapeworms to ingest. Food for thought. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Don't forget to like the video if you in fact liked it. Watch one of those 2 bloops. And of course, the cookbooks, the training books, the Circle Diet Book, the Harder Than Last Time clothing line. Get it all on the website. Got no money, get the free diet and training program. It's on the website. Join the 300,000 plus newsletter subscribers. And until next time, I am out.